Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSP Magazine Podcast Radio. You're about to listen to an episode of Your Everyday Cyber Podcast with Limor Kesem and Diana Kelly. We live in a cyberspace almost all the time, but do we know enough about living in it securely? Join this dynamic duo as they take you through an exploration of daily cyber activities and how you can make better choices to make them secure for yourself and your family. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
Welcome to Your Everyday Cyber. I'm Limor Kesem, a cybersecurity professional and advisor. My co-host is Diana Kelly, a cybersecurity expert who is the CTO and co-founder of Security Curve. Well, it's almost Thanksgiving any minute now, and the winter holidays around the corner. This means a lot of people are heading to the kitchen for some serious cooking. So in my house, one of our favorite treats this time of year is making Moroccan food. What about you, Diana?
Ooh, I love that. I love Moroccan food, like a good tagine and oh, yum. Well, for me, it's chestnuts. I don't know why. I've always loved chestnuts roasted in a pan as a dressing or stuffing. Even chestnut ice cream, just pretty much my love of chestnuts has no bounds.
That's pretty good. And it goes well with the song of chestnuts roasting.
Exactly.
Well, Diana, today we're doing the episode of Hacking Thanksgiving, and our guest is an internationally renowned cyber expert and lover of beautiful food. It is Chris Roberts. Chris, what is your favorite thing to make or maybe eat this time of year?
Thank you and appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'm not sure I'm an expert. Not this time, half the damn time. I swear I can't break into anything these days. Food-wise, let's think about it. It's weird for this time of year. I mean, obviously the traditional, Thanksgiving dinner. I like my roast potatoes, and we're talking like parboiled. Take them out, and they've just been partly done. Rake them over with a fork, put some butter in a pan, chuck them in the oven so they're like nice and crispy on the outside and just done on the inside. A little bit of garlic and Parmesan, and I'm happy. I don't care about much else.
I don't need Thanksgiving. I'm making this tomorrow.
All right. That's all the holiday I need.
I'm going to take a picture. Don't think I'm kidding. In addition to a ton of eating, which is what Thanksgiving is about in many places, this is also a time of year that people start giving some gifts to each other, maybe to themselves. So, Chris, you like gadgets. Is there anything you've got your eye on for, this holiday, maybe help with the holiday cooking or anything like that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you think about all of the digital tech that's in, I can sit in the comfort of my own lab and monitor, the turkey, the temperature in the middle, the outside of it. I can put the camera up there with, the music playing on one hand and the surveillance, watching the oven to make sure it doesn't burn. And in the background, I've got all my digital knives that keep an eye on things. There's so much cool tech out there that's both fascinating, amazing, and as scary as all heck.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do love the idea of being able to monitor from afar because that's really cool. Especially like with temperatures, we were always opening the oven, check the thermometer, and then you're letting the heat out. So this isn't the highest tech, but the thing that I actually am interested in is these combo scale measuring cups, because I always find it confusing going back. I mean, people are probably be like, how confusing is this? But you have to go back forth between the dry and the liquid measures, and sometimes I'll like throw the flour in the measuring cup and instead of in the dry measuring spoon. So anyway, and I cook. I bake. I mean, I don't do a lot of cooking, so I'm not really sort of a jazz cook. So I'm actually kind of excited about those, and that got those eyed up. How about you, Limor? What are you interested in for your holiday?
I know it's going to be funny, and people might laugh at me, but I use a little toaster every single day, and I saw this like connected toaster, which one of the side panels is like this touch screen, and I'm dying to push those buttons. Yep. And then you can decide how you want your toast. You kind of tell it what you're going to put in there and how you want it. And like, it just does the magic for you. And while it's pathetic to want that connected toaster, and also it's like, we've always been saying, oh, IoTs, connected toasters. But yeah, I've seen one that's like so awesome and I wanted it. Yeah.
Is that the one that can do the patterns on the side? There was a Kickstarter out for one I saw a little while ago. That thing is freaking awesome. If it comes to fruition, I'm right behind you in the queue.
The one I saw, I think it's already available because I remember the price tag. It was pretty hefty. It was like a couple $100, but it was really nice. And some of those other gadgets also in the kitchen, it's just everything is getting smarter all the time. Maybe an automatic pot stirrer, or you just put the ingredients in and it stirs everything for you, or does lets you know what the consistency is. I don't know. A lot of interesting things are taking place.
Yeah, I the pot stirrer, yes, but also I want to go back to the patterns on the toast. Is that like you could have like a rainbow and it's sort of burnt into the toast? Is that how is this working?
Yes, they've got one. I mean, they've got one at the moment. I mean, I don't know if you remember years and years ago, there was the whole, people have seen the Virgin Mary and the various different deities on their toast. Well, now apparently you can imprint the darn thing yourself just for the hell of it.
Okay. All right. So I could have Zeus.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's some pretty fantastic, there's one out there and it's all based off of like the heating LED and the elements, and it can light up certain elements in certain patterns and all sorts of things. I mean, yeah, you could literally have your old Space Invaders on the toast. It would be fantastic if they actually managed to do this thing.
That one.
I don't think, Diana, you realize that you said Zeus, and this is a subconscious thing because one of the biggest malware of all time is Zeus.
Oh, that's true. And you know what else is that I remember years and years ago, there was this newspaper in the United States called the Weekly World News. And they were known for these really outrageous stories that nobody thought were true. Like they had this character Bat Boy, and it's pre-Photoshop. I don't know how they would create this photo that was of this boy that looked like a bat, but it was all rather ridiculous but silly, and you'd see it in the supermarket checkout line. And I remember years and years ago, this was probably like 94, that they had this picture up on as one of their headlines, which was, my computer got a virus from a toaster. And I laughed and laughed. And guess what?
There you have it.
They were just telling the future.
Indeed.
I mean, especially because I think the ones I'm thinking of are all Android connected toasters.
Yeah.
And I remember doing a talk at one of the security conferences. It's got to be 6 years ago now. And we broke into a power station, fairly large one, using the chief engineer's home. He had a specific manufacturer of oven that had Android on it. And we managed to do an intercept between him and his oven while he was sitting at Starbucks. And Payload did this thing.
That is some dangerous stuff.
And all sorts of other things. Because, I mean, you could literally, there were people that were showing off, oh, look at my oven, and you can do all the adjustments while you're sitting on your iPad. Get out of the rubbish, you goofball. Sorry, the puppy's got his head buried in the rubbish bin. Get out of it.
She's snacking early for the holiday.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you see, these things really move up the complexity chain. There's stuff that can happen through devices that crosses over. And this Starbucks just made me think of there's these barista-bot machines that you can control from, let's say, an iOS or an Android device. And that kind of gives you a perfect cup. It's ready for you when you want it. But there should be an interest to security concerns as well, I'm imagining.
Should be and are/is are unfortunately two very different things. Oh my gosh. I mean, you think about it. I mean, the perfect example is, we've had this for years. When the digital lights came out, it solved a very simple problem that as humans we'd had for thousands of years, which is when I travel, how do I make sure that my house looks lived in? And there was always the leave a light on, do something with the light. And then we had the digital lights. It's like, well, fantastic. We don't have to use those bulky timers. We can have an app that puts the lights on and off. And then we got to do different colors on and off. And then from an adversarial standpoint, our ability to understand when you're running automated programming and all these things, now you look at connected fridges that monitor the food that's in there, the ovens and various other things that we're putting in place that interconnect. And all of a sudden, Now, can I monitor your food consumption, your progress when you have to go to the shops, when you should go to the shops, if you're not going to the shops? And how much of that is both great, but also allows me as an adversary to much more effectively put the jigsaw puzzle of your patterns, your movements, and when you're there and when you're not there together.
That is a really good point. That was something we wanted to talk to you about, were those fridge cams. And yeah, you make a excellent point that you could even see when people were preparing to go away from their house for a certain amount of time by the food. I mean, maybe it looks like they haven't shopped in a while, but if the food it's all just the stuff that isn't going to go bad for a while, and then they don't replenish that for 2 days, you've got a pretty good beat onto they're not there. They have traveled. Yeah, that's it. Any other things, like, as you think about, especially with so many folks working from home, do you have any concerns about putting our smart refrigerator or our smart toaster on the same Wi-Fi that we're going to the office on?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just, it opens it up. I mean, it's, again, as an attacker, if I put my adversarial hat on, I literally only had the one point of presence to get into. I had to break into your home router, and because then I could get to the computer. Well, now when you think about it, so many of these devices are calling out for updates and for changes. They're also calling out to the applications themselves, or they're going out to a central system. If you look at, it's amazing. If you look at the televisions, a lot of the smart televisions, let alone the audio systems, and now you look at the fridge, they're all going out to various different cloud-based, centralized consumer-focused systems. So the ability to now adversarially attack you, affect you, and monitor you, not just by breaking into the home router or the home switch. Yeah, you've just given me, instead of one attack vector, you've given me a dozen attack vectors.
Yes, and they seems like they're all asking for our email addresses too. I mean, the last time that we set up our television, the television wanted our passwords to all of the apps and to get into Google, because it's an Android-based television. Is there an issue with giving your refrigerator your email address? Login?
Yeah. I mean, it's that. So it's interesting. I mean, Diana, to your point, we have gotten to the point now where that's that privacy versus convenience conversation. And the television, no different than the fridge. And I think this is where it's interesting. As a consumer, we don't see this. But if you look at it, Samsung and others have made a play to be the home hub. You have to look at, Ring and Google and various other ones. We're going to be the home hub. Nest has obviously partnered up with a number of them to be the home hub. Your fridge wants to be the hub, the TV. And so now you have this basically, you have this internal vendor war inside a house as to which one is going to control all of your applications, be it Android system, be it an Apple system. So everything wants to have control of everything else. And as the consumer, we have this mishmash, literally tangled web of technology, all of which unfortunately wants access to all the other bits so that it can help us.
Everybody wants to be a part of what we do and an experience in the home. And it seems that there are some components. So there is, let's say, the device itself. It has some firmware on it, most of which I cannot update, or I have no idea how to update. And I hope that my vendor is updating it, which probably isn't happening as often as should. And maybe that firmware even maybe not that great. I've seen firmware on certain devices, even like routers, that's been terrible and extremely flawed. So there's the firmware on the devices. There are applications to control. There is the applications code. Maybe that's vulnerable somewhere. Maybe there's, details are leaking. We've seen this time and again, privacy breaches, all those kinds of things. There's the communications between things. So you're saying about the router, but there's, like you said, there are communications to clouds, and everything is connected. Everything is communicating with other things. And so people are at some point like, okay, so is this like smart home thing and all these gadgets that we really like and appreciate, are they really dangerous? I mean, what should I be thinking of? Maybe a first top of mind thing that I should do when I go and get myself a device, and I still want to keep maybe a slice of my privacy still.
I think Alexander Pope said it best. Hope springs eternal.
Oh my goodness.
When it comes to unfortunately relying upon the vendors and the supply chain for ensuring the integrity of the very devices that they've just sold us. Exactly to your point, those very routers and switches and devices that are meant to be there to protect our houses and our lives from the internet are less than stellar. And I don't remember what the exact number was, but I think somebody in our community did a test of like 100 and something of them, and pretty much so almost every single one of them was just absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And, even so, thinking about things like you were talking about being able to check the temperature and the food that you're cooking, or to turn on your oven. And we've all talked about, well, an attacker could turn on your oven when you're not home, or they might not cook your meat to the right temperature so that it's dangerous. Has that kind of attack, is that really a vector to be concerned about, or is it more that they're just trying to get access into your house through these insecure devices, or are they actually trying to mess with the function of the devices?
So here's a different tact on it, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You're right. As an adversary, will I have the ability to do that? Absolutely, because we care about getting things into people's hands more than we care about protecting the very people we're selling them to. However, let's take a different tact on this. Your utensils, your very eating utensils will be and are and do track your habits. Now, let's just say I am collating all of that information. So I'm collating what you're eating. I'm obviously looking at the fridge because, and I'm not going to name, I am going to name names, but I'm not doing it deliberately to call anybody out. Let's say you've got a nice Samsung fridge and it's connected to the internet and it's also doing the shopping for you. So now I've got Kroger's or King Soopers or whoever I'm getting my shopping from, Whole Foods. And so I know your eating habits. I actually know what's in your fridge and I know what's going to be eaten from your fridge. And yes, maybe it's quasi-anonymized, but then I can see what you're cooking and I can take all this information and I can make an assumption about you. I can make an assumption that maybe you're not eating quite as healthily as you should do, that the calories you're consuming versus the fitness app tracker data that I have on you means you're not working out quite as much, especially for all of us that have gone through the last year and a half or two of COVID and have gone, wow, we're not exercising. So now when your healthcare renewal comes up, I can look at you and go, well, you tell me you exercise 3 times a week, but it's not showing it. You tell me that you eat healthily, yet it's not showing it. Or I'm going to increase your premium by 15% because I see you're consuming too much sugar in your cup of tea. And so your premium's going up, or I'm going to deny you coverage, or I'm going to increase it. So it's less those direct attacks. And to me, it's all the inferences of everything from healthcare, medical conditioning, the ability to now target us with whatever we need to, because the additional information that's been handed over. Basically, we're able to profile people more effectively, which isn't always a good thing.
And this happened in the real world. I mean, I know of a case in Europe where a very, very popular GPS application was tracking the driving habits of people. And that got directly into the hands of their insurance company that raised their premiums because now they were considered more dangerous than they initially thought. When that came out, of course, there was an outrage, and I think that stopped at that point. But yeah, I mean, those are definitely issues that people should be mindful of when you're using technology in the home that has the ability to track you. You never have control on where that data will end up.
And it can be really a little bit shocking, even when, so we know we talk about this, but we just got a pickup at Whole Foods. We just got a Whole Foods near me. I don't live in the most populous area, and they just had pickup so you could shop online. And the next time I logged into Amazon, I got this, I had this new bar that said, this is what you just bought at Whole Foods last week. Do you want to reorder it? And it was just very odd to see my entire grocery cart there in front of me. I mean, I knew that they were getting that information, but it's also, when you see it and you start thinking about, Chris, to your point, how it can be used. And then I also get this weird dissonance because we cook our food for our pets, but we're vegans. So we purchase meat for the pets because we have cats, they eat meat. That also is kind of interesting because how it would look like if I said to my doctor, I'm a vegan, and then they say, well, you bought these organic chicken thighs. Clearly, you're not a vegan. You buy them every week, So it's like, well, this for the cats.
Oh my God, yes, that is true. Like these inferences can be damaging.
Yeah. They're gonna start marking the cost of my health insurance on whether or not I'm being honest about what I'm eating. I mean, you start getting into like really spooky zone.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, go ahead, Chris.
No, I mean, and it's tough because you want to balance that. So exactly to that point, there have been other instances, and I mean, to some degrees, if it's done correctly, and there's a huge if on this one, if my eating habits indicate maybe that I have liver problems or I have kidney problems because maybe I can't find what I'm looking for, I'm supplementing or whatever else it is, or there's some underlying condition, to some degree, I kind of want my fridge to tell me that. Or if I'm running out of something, let's say I'm on the way home, Diana, exactly to your point. I mean, I use, same thing, we've got Whole Foods here, and I'll go through Amazon and I'll double check. I did it last night. I'm like, hey, what have I forgotten? What do I need to buy? Went through it and I've got a list for stuff. And it's weird because in some ways that convenience has its uses, but in other ways it's what are we handing over for that?
Yeah, exactly. It definitely has its uses, which is what makes it popular. It has its uses and they're not so bad.
Yep. Yeah, as long as it's used carefully. But it is, it's sorry.
No, that was an oof with the is it used carefully. Unfortunately, we've not done well at that, let's be honest, as an entire society.
A lot of the places where we do shop, and you mentioned other grocery stores, I mean, is there anything for a consumer to think about, for after the TJX attack? A lot of consumers said, oh, I'm not going to go to TJ Maxx for a while. But in general, it looks like it's about a 2-year time frame, even for customers that say never again. They tend to be back at that retailer. Are there any retailers that seem to be getting this better? Because we are all now, most of us, between the loyalty cards and the pre-order online, a lot of us are being fully tracked by our at least where we're buying our groceries for what we're buying at that place. Any signs that a company's doing it better or worse, Chris? Or just grocery shop where you grocery shop and hope they're going to be good stewards?
Unfortunately, I think it's the last. I've got to give. I knew a couple of the senior folks over at the Whole Foods of this world, and to their credit, they were trying to do as much as they could to protect a lot of the data. Now, I don't know enough on like the King Supers, the Krogers. Now, I mean, you think about it, Walmart, for all of our love and hate for that organization, their security team, I mean, they've had some absolutely amazing people in there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think also it changes if you have a technology company behind you or not. It depends what you do. So definitely, well, I have to say this has been a super interesting chat. And I want to thank Chris so much for being with us today. And also to thank our listeners for being with us today again and on every episode. We hope that this episode has put you into the right holiday mood. Our podcast page has some resources for you from each episode, and so you can check it out anytime. Our next episode is going to focus on cool holiday tech gifts, and it will help you choose a gadget that's both great and more secure. If you have a topic you'd like us to discuss, we'd love to get your comments and requests for the podcast. And you can send them to us via email to youreverydaycyber@securitycurve.com. If you're on Twitter, you can easily follow us at cyber_everyday. So thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to the next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Your Everyday Cyber Podcast with Limor and Diana. If you learned something new and this conversation made you think, then share itspmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.